Hi, I'm Andrea Lilienfeld with the K Grant Group, and today I've asked my husband, Geoff Lilienfeld, to join me so we can discuss and share with you what our personal investment strategy is here in Arizona.
So you're probably familiar with the number that over 90% of US millionaires own some sort of investment real estate. That number came from Andrew Carnegie, a billionaire himself. And, essentially, we're always talking to people that are really interested in how can they be part of that 90%, right? Because I think when it comes to thinking about retirement and investing in general, nobody wants to get left behind and, end up in a situation where they've made poor investments or even worse, no investments at all, right? And that's how we ended up wanting to get into real estate ourselves. And not just from obviously a brokering of real estate, but from an investing standpoint too. And we got started with that by purchasing condos here in Old Town Scottsdale.
That would have been back in 2015.
So it's been a while, going on 8 years of those.
And when we decided to get into the real estate market, on the side of actually investing ourselves, and decided that owning rental properties was going to be one of our main pillars, really, for planning for our retirement and our wealth management strategy. We started out, like Geoff said, with 2 condos. We purchased two-bedroom condos on the same day even, right in Old Town Scottsdale, that we decided we were going to turn into Airbnbs.
Yeah, and at that point in time, we were actually doing the light remodeling ourselves. So we were painting, I'm trying to think, changing out hardware.
I'll never forget, we're in there getting the property prepped, and all of a sudden I see Geoff ripping a countertop off. I didn't even know he would know how to rip one off, but...
Which is a little out of character for me, but... I happen to have used to have a past in granite and marble countertops, so.
And it's one of those things as we were getting into it, right? Investors start at all different points. There's investors like we were back in 2015, where we were really needing to do a lot of it ourselves so we could make it profitable and get it up and running. It was the beginning of us building our portfolio. How we attacked that is a lot different than when we buy an investment property now. But that was really how we started in it.
And that's definitely a very cool thing about getting into investing in real estate. And I think that's true with like flipping too, right? You can be at any sort of different level, right? You hear about flippers and you see them that they're in there doing it all themselves. And a lot of times you see husband and wife teams flipping properties, right? I mean, obviously, what's the show that everyone was watching for a little while with Tarek and Christina. Maybe? Yeah. Right, so that's not an uncommon thing. But definitely when it comes to investing in short-term rentals, in longer-term, right, you have these options of, okay, how much of the work are you going to do yourself in terms of any, renovations and remodeling in investment properties? But also you have the ongoing option of, do I hire a property manager or not?
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that's really great for people to understand. Whether you're new to it like we were in 2015, where we purchased the properties for under $150,000, we did the remodeling ourselves. We were paying friends to come help us paint the walls by telling them we had a case of beer and some pizza if they'd come help us paint on a Friday night. Or if it's more on the side of our 5-bedroom property that we now own, and we hired an interior decorator to come in and help us remodel and furnish it and get it up and going. When we first started, we took the direction of we're going to manage these properties ourselves. On the short-term rental side, you're paying a property manager 20 to 25% to manage your property for you. And the margins just didn't work for us as well then. We had a little bit more time, and we cared more about making sure we got top dollar on our property. We needed to have that quick ROI happening, so we managed those properties ourselves.
Yeah, because we just really wanted to maximize the cash that we were getting out of it. It wasn't just about making sure that we were covering our monthly nut, but we wanted to really be cash flow positive on these short-term rentals.
Exactly, and as we built our portfolio with these 2 rentals, we actually added a third 2-bedroom rental to it. When we decided to sell those properties, we utilized a 1031 exchange to help limit the capital gains we had to pay, and we leveled up. We went from having the 2-bedroom condos to having now our Airbnb as a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, single-family home that we purchased using those 1031 exchange funds.
Well, and at the time that we did it, we actually got 2 houses in, I don't know, within a year or 2?
Yeah, it was within like a year to year
year-ish
and a half
timeframe.
that we purchased. And the other one was a 6-bedroom, 4-bath, single-family home.